mucus keeps showing up every morning? For many older adults, it's more than just a minor annoyance. It becomes a daily routine. The coughing, the clearing of the throat, and that constant feeling that something's not quite right in your chest. Yet most people dismiss it as just part of aging or a cold that never fully goes away. But here's the surprising truth. Persistent mucus isn't simply an unavoidable part of getting older. It's often your body's way of sending up a red flag. If you ignore it or try to treat it incorrectly, you could actually make the problem worse. That's why this video could really help improve your comfort and potentially your long-term health. Today, we're going to cover the 5 most common reasons older adults find themselves dealing with mucus every day. These aren't vague guesses, but real, medically backed reasons that many people don't even know about. By the end of this video, you'll understand what's causing it and, more importantly, how you can start doing something about it right away. So, if you're between 55 and 85 and you're tired of starting every morning with a cough and a throat full of mucus, this video is for you. Even if you're not personally dealing with this, chances are someone close to you is. Stick around, because what you'll learn could finally explain what's going on and give you the tools to do something about it. Let's dive in. Reason 1. Post-nasal drip caused by aging sinuses. One of the most common reasons older adults end up coughing up mucus every day is something happening quietly in the background of your sinuses. As we age, the lining of our nasal passages begins to dry out, and the tiny hairs that once helped sweep irritants away, called cilia, start to slow down. This leads to mucus that would usually be cleared from your sinuses, instead dripping down the back of your throat. This is known as post-nasal drip. While this might sound harmless, it can feel anything but. Imagine waking up each morning with that annoying tickle in your throat. You clear your throat, swallow, and yet it's still there. For many, it leads to a dry cough, and for others, it turns into that familiar need to clear something from the chest. What's frustrating is that this isn't the kind of mucus you get from a cold or flu, which usually goes away after a week or two. This lingers for months, sometimes even years, and many older adults think it's just part of aging. Here's the good news. While aging plays a role, you're not powerless to manage it. Post-nasal drip can be worsened by factors like indoor heating in the winter, dry air in the bedroom, or even acid reflux at night. Some seniors have noticed their morning mucus disappearing simply by using a humidifier near their bed or elevating their pillow so they sleep at a slight incline. From a psychological perspective, post-nasal drainage can also be. You start the day clearing your throat, and the cycle continues. Stay tuned to find out more practical solutions. Instead of enjoying your morning coffee, you find yourself feeling self-conscious in social situations, constantly apologizing for the noise or discomfort. Over time, it starts to affect your sense of normalcy and confidence. I've known people in their late 70s who stopped attending church gatherings or community breakfasts simply because they didn't want to be the one coughing again. There's a deeper issue here, one that touches on our dignity as we age. When your body keeps producing symptoms that feel sticky, heavy, or uncomfortable, it can lead to a quiet kind of shame. We don't talk about it, we pretend it's not there, but the truth is, it matters. Feeling clear, light, and unbothered each morning sets the tone for the entire day. You deserve that kind of start. So, if you've been struggling with mucus in the mornings, ask yourself, could it be post-nasal drip? Is the air in your home too dry? Are you using nasal sprays that might actually be making the problem worse? Start by tracking your environment, your nighttime routine, and even your diet. You might be surprised by how small changes, like sipping warm lemon water first thing in the morning or adding moisture to your bedroom air, can make a world of difference. Let's move on. The next reason might be hiding in plain sight, and it's something many people don't connect to mucus. Reason 2. Hidden acid reflux. Here's something that might surprise you. The mucus you're coughing up every morning might not even be coming from your lungs or nose. It could actually be coming from your stomach. Yes, acid reflux, or what doctors sometimes call silent reflux, is one of the most common hidden causes of chronic mucus in people over 60. Unlike classic heartburn, this type of reflux doesn't always cause the burning in your chest. Instead, it sends small amounts of stomach acid up into your throat while you sleep, irritating the lining, inflaming your voice box, and triggering your body to produce mucus as a defense mechanism. What makes this tricky is that it doesn't feel like typical reflux. There's no spicy food from the night before or heavy meal causing it. Instead, you might just feel like you need to keep clearing your throat. Your voice may sound hoarse in the morning, and you may feel a lump or tightness in your throat. You might even mistake it for allergies, but deep down, your body is just trying to soothe an injury you didn't even realize was happening. This kind of reflux becomes more common as we age. The esophageal valve, the little muscle that should close tightly between the stomach and throat, weakens. When you lie flat at night, gravity no longer helps keep acid in its place, so it creeps up, repeatedly. Every time it does, your body creates mucus, like a fireman spraying water on a hot spot. I once met a 68-year-old woman named Teresa who was convinced she had chronic bronchitis. For months, she coughed up mucus every morning. Her doctor ruled out infection and her lungs looked clear. But when she tried sleeping with her upper body slightly raised and stopped eating 3 hours before bedtime, the mucus vanished, just like that. What she had wasn't a lung problem at all. It was silent reflux. Here's the emotional side many don't talk about. When you can't figure out why your body keeps acting this way, you start to feel helpless. You feel like you're doing everything right, eating well, staying warm, resting, but your mornings are still ruined by this constant mucus buildup. The worst part is that the people around you don't understand. They just think it's part of aging. So you stop explaining, stop asking for help, and over time, you stop expecting relief. But you deserve better than that. If this sounds familiar, try making a few changes. Elevate the head of your bed a few inches. Avoid late-night snacks, especially acidic foods like tomatoes and citrus. Try sipping warm ginger tea after dinner instead of reaching for something heavier. And most importantly, talk to your doctor. Not just about heartburn, but about the possibility of silent reflux. Sometimes the solution isn't more medicine, it's smarter habits. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing and turning on the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support helps us keep creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move on. Reason 3, dry indoor air. You might think that mucus only builds up when you're sick or when it's humid outside, but for many older adults, the opposite is true. Mucus production can actually increase when the air is too dry, especially indoors. And guess what? That's exactly the kind of environment many seniors spend most of their time in. Heated homes during the winter and air-conditioned rooms in the summer. Both of these conditions strip moisture from the air, drying out your nose and throat. In response, your body does what it knows best. It produces mucus. This might sound counterintuitive because we typically associate dry air with a dry nose, right? But when your airways dry out, the delicate lining in your nasal passages and throat gets irritated. Your body interprets this as damage, like a small burn on the inside, and floods the area with mucus to keep it moist, trap any particles, and soothe the inflammation. The more time you spend in this kind of dry air, especially while you sleep, the more likely you'll wake up needing to clear your throat, blow your nose, or cough up mucus. I remember a 72-year-old gentleman named Walter who had been battling thick morning mucus for over a year. He tried allergy medications, cut out dairy, and even changed his toothpaste, thinking it was causing a reaction. But the mucus kept coming. Then one winter, his daughter gave him a humidifier for his bedroom. Within a week, the mucus was half as bad. By the second week, it was completely gone. That's how powerful dry air can be. It may not look like a problem. You can't see it, smell it, or touch it, but your body definitely feels it and fights back the only way it can. This is especially true for older adults. As we age, our mucous membranes naturally get drier. Our skin becomes thinner, hydration levels drop, and our body's ability to regulate moisture weakens. Add in medications like antihistamines, blood pressure pills, or diuretics, all of which can dry you out. And now you have a perfect storm for thick, sticky mucus that's hard to clear. Emotionally, dealing with this kind of mucus problem can be frustrating because it feels like it comes out of nowhere. You feel fine when you go to bed. You didn't eat anything strange. You're not sick. Yet every morning you wake up stuck clearing your throat, feeling embarrassed during breakfast, maybe even canceling plans because of the discomfort. It can chip away at your confidence, making you hesitant to go out or even answer the phone. What most people don't realize is that the simple solution might be sitting right on a drugstore shelf in a small plastic box, a humidifier. So, if you're waking up with mucus and aren't sure why, take a look around your bedroom. Is there a humidifier? Is there a bowl of water near the heater or vent? Are you drinking water before bed and after waking up? These small changes don't cost much, but they can make a huge difference. When your body feels supported, it doesn't have to fight so hard, and the mucus may stop showing up. Reason 4, silent acid reflux. One of the most overlooked reasons older adults constantly cough up mucus, especially first thing in the morning, is something called silent acid reflux. When most people hear acid reflux, they picture heartburn, that burning sensation in the chest after a big meal. But silent reflux is different. It's sneaky. It doesn't always cause pain. Instead, it creeps up your throat while you're lying down and leaves behind inflammation, irritation, and, you guessed it, mucus. When you lie flat, stomach acid can travel upward into your esophagus without you even realizing it. And when that acid reaches the back of your throat or your vocal cords, your body reacts to protect those sensitive tissues. It produces mucus to coat the lining, neutralize the acid, and repair the damage. So, when you wake up and feel the need to clear your throat or notice a sticky feeling that doesn't go away, this could be the hidden cause. The worst part is that many seniors chalk it up to age or allergies and never treat the real problem. Silent reflux is especially common in people over 60. As we age, the muscles that keep stomach acid in place, the lower esophageal sphincter, tend to weaken. That means acid has an easier time slipping past the barrier and climbing up the throat. Plus, as we often become more sedentary later in life or eat large meals before bed, it can make reflux more likely. As bedtime approaches, the conditions are just right for silent reflux to happen. I once met a woman named Helen, 68 years old, who shared that she was clearing her throat 40 to 50 times a day. She had seen several ear, nose, and throat specialists, thinking it was allergies or maybe a cold that never fully healed. However, it wasn't until someone asked her about her nighttime habits, like eating late, lying flat after meals, and waking up with a hoarse voice, that the picture became clear. Once she started eating dinner earlier, propping her head up at night, and avoiding trigger foods like tomatoes and chocolate, her mucus problem practically disappeared. The emotional toll of silent reflux can be significant. Because it doesn't feel like a digestive issue, many seniors feel confused and helpless. They wonder why they always sound congested and may worry about throat cancer or chronic infection. Worst of all, they may start feeling self-conscious when talking to others, repeatedly clearing their throat, coughing mid-sentence, or avoiding conversations altogether. But once you understand what's really going on, the power returns to you. This isn't just about aging, it's a physical response to a real irritant. With a few simple changes like elevating your pillow, avoiding acidic foods late at night, or spacing out your meals, you can give your throat the relief it needs. So, if you wake up with mucus every morning and nothing else seems to explain it, take a moment to ask yourself, what time did I eat dinner? Did I lie down right after? Am I snacking on spicy or acidic foods at night? These small habits could be the key. Sometimes the biggest problems aren't caused by what we feel, but by what we don't notice. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend doing so and turning on the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support helps us continue creating content to inform and inspire you. Let's move on. Reason 5. Dry air and poor humidity. The air you breathe, especially in the place you spend most of your time, your home, might be silently working against your lungs, throat, and ability to breathe clearly. One of the most common but often overlooked reasons older adults cough up mucus day after day is dry indoor air. It might sound harmless, but when the air lacks proper humidity, your entire respiratory system reacts, and not in a good way. As we age, the mucous membranes that line our nasal passages, throat, and lungs become more sensitive. They don't produce moisture as efficiently as they once did, and they don't tolerate dryness well. When the air is dry, these membranes try to compensate by producing extra mucus as a protective response. The body is trying to keep those areas moist, but instead, it ends up creating excess congestion. That's why many older adults find themselves constantly clearing their throat, especially in the winter months or when the heater or air conditioner is running. The air in your home, especially when the heater or air conditioner is constantly running, can silently contribute to your symptoms. I once visited an old friend named Bob, a retired school principal in his late 70s. Every morning, he'd sit by the window with a cup of coffee and a box of tissues, coughing and clearing his throat like clockwork. At first, he thought it was just old age or maybe allergies, but then he noticed something strange whenever he traveled to a more humid climate. Like when he visited his daughter in Florida, the coughing almost disappeared. It turned out his home was simply too dry. Once he added a humidifier in his bedroom and another in the living room, the difference was remarkable. He went from coughing 30 times every morning to barely once or twice. Dry air also affects how mucus behaves inside your body. Instead of being thin and easy to clear, mucus becomes thick and sticky. It clings to your throat, settles in your lungs, and becomes harder to expel. This not only creates that constant urge to cough, but it also increases your risk of respiratory infections. Thick mucus can trap bacteria and dust, turning your airways into a breeding ground for illness. For many older adults, this dry environment is entirely unintentional. The heating systems we rely on in the winter and the air conditioners we use in the summer both strip moisture from the air. Add in closed windows, indoor fans, and poor ventilation, and you have the perfect recipe for year-round throat irritation. What feels like a safe and comfortable home can quietly be triggering your symptoms day after day. The psychological impact is real too. Many seniors feel frustrated or even embarrassed by the constant throat clearing. They may avoid talking on the phone, limit time with friends, or worry that something is seriously wrong with their lungs. But in many cases, the fix is surprisingly simple. Improve the air you breathe. A good quality humidifier, staying hydrated, indoor plants that release moisture, and even opening windows for fresh air can make a world of difference. You don't need expensive machines or medical procedures. Just a few thoughtful adjustments to put your comfort and well-being first. If you find yourself coughing every morning or clearing your throat more than you'd like, take a look around your space. Pay attention to how the air feels, because sometimes the biggest relief doesn't come from medicine or diagnosis. It comes from simply improving your environment. Let's now take these insights and move on to our final thoughts. If you've ever felt embarrassed by your constant throat clearing, frustrated by the never-ending mucus, or even worried that something might be seriously wrong with your lungs, I want you to know this: you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. Many older adults quietly carry this discomfort, thinking it's just part of aging or something they have to live with. But as we've seen today, there are real reasons behind this daily struggle. And better yet, there are real ways to manage it. As we get into our 60s, 70s, and 80s, our bodies speak in whispers rather than shouts. It communicates what it needs through small signs like coughing a bit more in the morning or noticing more mucus after a meal. These aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of wisdom, a body that has lived through decades and now needs a little more care, attention, and kindness. Each reason we discussed today, whether it's post-nasal drip, acid reflux, chronic bronchitis, certain medications, or dry air, is your body's way of asking for support. And the good news is, with a few simple adjustments, you can start breathing easier again. Maybe that means having a conversation with your doctor about your medications, elevating your head while you sleep, adding a humidifier to your bedroom, drinking more water throughout the day, or cutting back on dairy. Every step counts, no matter how small it may seem. But more than anything, I hope you walk away from this video knowing that you deserve to feel better. You don't have to accept every discomfort as just part of aging. You have the power to take control of your well-being, ask the right questions, and make the changes that bring you comfort and peace. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments motivates and encourages us. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.